Good evening, everyone. Quick show of hands, who likes flowers? Okay, that's almost everyone, and I too am no exception. I love flowers too. The other day, I was at the florist shop because I wanted to buy a few flowers for myself. And then I saw it. It was a bouquet like no other. It had such unique colored flowers in it. It was just mesmerizing. The first flower that I saw, it was a yellow rosebud. When I saw it, it brought back a deluge of memories to me. It flooded my mind, and all of them were about my first friend in Singapore. We all know that first friends are such special people. They are so close to our heart, and so was mine to me. I remember the day that I first met her. It was at a Yen meeting on 27th August 2013. I had just moved to Singapore in July, and I was very new and alone and lonely. And then I met her. She was one of the most amazing people I have ever met in my life. And then the minute that we started talking, I knew she was special. We got along like a house on fire, and since then, there was no looking back. We bonded over everything, you name it, like from our Indian roots and to our hobbies, to we even dislike the same people. It was just so beautiful. That's how our friendship actually began. The second rose in the bouquet, it was a pink rose in blue. This reminded me of how our friendship escalated. It was like a whirlwind romance. I know this sounds like some lesbian relationship, but trust me, it's not one. So, yes. So this reminded me of how we grew even closer. She did tiny things for me, like just calling me up randomly to check whether I was okay. Or, helping me hunt for my black heels on the crowded dance floor of Zouk with my flashlight, which is really tough, by the way. We found them. And she even got me home-cooked, vegetarian, onion-free food because I am allergic to onions. So what more could anyone ask for in a friend? She taught me like how Singapore works. She explained to me about how things are done here. It was just so nice. The third rose that I saw in the bouquet, it was a fully bloomed red rose. That, I think, reminded me of the peak of our friendship. They say that familiarity breeds contempt, but in our case, this was totally false. Because as time progressed, we got to know each other better, and I just thought that she was almost perfectly flawless. She was such an amazing person. She helped me so much in life. She did so much for me. She was always there for me. She was so much fun to hang out with. And she took all my bullshit. So, even when I went home for 3 months for my internship, we used to Skype for hours at a time. We just used to talk about everything. We used to badmouth our colleagues and say how stupid our work was or how much I missed her. I missed her more than anyone or anything else here in Singapore when I was back home in Mumbai. Sometimes at the end of a really, really bad day, all I did was call her up and then we would just talk. And the sound of her voice, she was like a breath of, fresh air to my really stale and boring day. She just made my day. So it was just wonderful, the whole thing. And when I got back after 3 months, she actually came to pick me up at the airport at 5:30 a.m. in the morning. Who even does that? So what more could anyone else ask for in a friend? I was totally enamored by her, and she even introduced me to her friends and her family and invited me home every week for lunch. I got home-cooked food. I really miss home-cooked food because I don't have my family here. The fourth rose that I saw, it was a black wilted rose. Because all good things come to an end, unfortunately. Despite her many good qualities, She had one flaw which we used to argue about a lot. She came from a family where she had to constantly try to prove herself to her parents. She felt so unloved. And she wanted to be loved, not just by her parents or by her other family or friends, but by a guy. So what she did, she joined Tinder and she went out with random people who were terrible people. They were terrible guys. They were just terrible. And I told her I want her so much. But then, she would get heartbroken, she would get hurt, they would betray her, but she still persisted in the hope that one day, maybe, she might find the one. And then, one day she did. He was 7 years her senior, and I hated him. I mean, he was horrible to her. He lied to her, he betrayed her, he broke her heart so many times. And I was her best friend. I was so concerned for her well-being. I told her just break up with him. But she wouldn't. Because he was like a drug, She was so addicted to him, she just wouldn't let him go. So one day, I made one of the worst mistakes of my life. We have a mutual friend. Let's just call her Diana. I can't reveal her real name. So Diana is the most opportunistic person I have ever met in my life, and I didn't know it at that time. So, one day I just told Diana that maybe Diana might be able to explain to my friend to, move on and to just not go out with him anymore because he wasn't good for her. So Diana took advantage of this opportunity. She twisted every word of mine, and then she just told my friend that Nillavi badmouths you. That's how our friendship died, and it went to the grave. Because she never bothered to sort out the misunderstandings. And then I saw the white rose, and it gave me hope that maybe one day a new rose might bloom instead. Because you know how people die and we give white roses to them? So that's what. Thank you.